Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to Aimstone channel. Tomorrow is the day where I'm going to have an interview with one and only Peter Schiff. Hopefully we will talk about economy, inflation, and maybe have a friendly debate regarding Bitcoin. Anyway, tune in tomorrow. Now let's move back to today's video and let's start this video with of course Bitcoin market. As of the time of this recording, Bitcoin is wiggled around $27,400. Unfortunately, in the past 2 days, BTC pulled back from about $28,000 to this current price. However, the good news is from technical standpoint, it looks like Bitcoin just broke above this resistance line, which could be quite bullish, at least in a short period of time. On the other hand side, we can notice that Bitcoin dipped below 200 weeks moving average. Yes, as I said many times, I think 200 weeks moving average is by far the most important moving average in Bitcoin price action. So yes, 200 weeks moving average right now is around $28,000 and Bitcoin price is around $27,400. Bitcoin needs to gain additional $600 to be about 200 weeks moving average. Speaking of the Bitcoin Fear Good Index, today we are at 49. We remain in neutral. Yesterday we were slightly higher. We were at 50. But yes, as long as BTC will be about $27,000, I believe we will be neutral. But if Bitcoin dips below 27K, then most likely we will go back to fear. Okay, let's zoom out a bit and take a look at this weekly Bitcoin price action. Let's take a look, for example, what happened 2018 through 2020. Yes, during that period of time, BTC has been in a bear market / consolidation phase. And look at this, it looks like BTC formed this triangle, and as soon as BTC broke above the resistance of this triangle, it literally skyrocketed, and that happened in late 2020. And look at this, right now, 2022 through 2023, it looks like we are seeing something similar. Bitcoin is yet again forming another triangle, and it looks like Bitcoin is ready to break above the resistance of this triangle. When it does, guess what is going to happen? Well, I do not need to tell you. Okay, moving on. Just in, US national debt increased by $275 billion in a single day, bringing the total increase in the last 2 weeks of $448 billion. The slightly less than entire Bitcoin's market cap. Imagine your national debt increased by entire Bitcoin market cap in just a matter of 2 weeks. This is insane. So yes, as long as the national debt continues to increase, there is more and more problems to US economy as well as US government. They basically shooting themselves in the foot. Right now, the total US debt is more than $33 trillion, and in just 2020 was slightly more than $20 trillion, and now it's over $33 trillion. It means that in the past 3 years, it increased by almost 50%. This is insane. US won't be able to survive this huge bubble. As we know that US tax revenue in 2022 was approximately $5 trillion, and in 2022 they paid roughly $500 billion to service the debt. And guess what? In 2023 it increased by 35%, which means they are paying roughly like $700 billion to service the debt. And in 2024 it projected to increase by additional 35%. So in 2024 they might pay about $1 trillion to service the debt. $1 trillion will be equivalent to more than 20% of total tax revenue. This is insane. So yes guys, they have two options. They have to drop the rates, but if they drop the rates, they may save the economy, but in that case inflation will skyrocket. Or the second option will be they will keep fighting inflation, they will keep raising rates, and maybe they will default or something terrible happen to the economy, but in that case maybe they have a chance to save a dollar. But if the economy crashes, who the hell would want to use that dollar anyway? Okay guys, moving on, look at this what Willy Woo stated. When act, new ETH futures ETF only did $2 million of trading volume in just first day, yesterday. Pretty wild compared to BTC futures ETF that did 500 times more during the first day during the bull market. He says that shows how dead this market really is. Well, I do not think it shows how dead this market really is. What it shows is that there is literally no interest in Ethereum compared to Bitcoin. Moving on, today, a former FTX CEO Sam Bankman-Fried trial has started. I'm very curious and actually I would like to see it on TV. Hopefully, maybe it will be live on YouTube or somewhere. If you guys have any information, please comment below. Okay, just in, pro-Bitcoin US Congressman Patrick McHenry reportedly becomes 10th Speaker of the House. Yes, or no, that McCarthy got literally laid off, and now we have another speaker. You have to be a good liar to be sticking in government. We know that McCarthy actually wanted US government to be more responsible and actually reduce the debt. But no, this is not going to happen. So he's basically out. Okay, moving on. Crypto Tony. It's some basically new guy who actually reminds me of El Capo of Crypto. In fact, I thought this is the same guy, but he renamed him. But this is not the truth. This is what he states. And he believes that Bitcoin will retest $12,000. And yes, as soon as I saw this chart, it actually reminded me of El Capo of Crypto. In fact, this is what El Capo on Crypto stated in January 12, 2023, at the beginning of this year. Yes, back then Bitcoin was around $18,000 and he believed that BTC would retest $12,000. And guess what? That did not happen. So BTC literally skyrocketed to $28,000 and then he literally drew this huge red candle. Well, in this case, it was black candle, but of course that did not happen either. So yes, guys, El Capo of Crypto seems like he vanished of embarrassment or whatever the hell he's doing, but he has not been posting any tweets for a long period of time. So once again, predicting Bitcoin short-term volatility is basically as a plain Russian roulette. Moving on, judge rejects SEC motion to file an appeal against Ripple ruling. Let's take a look. District Court Judge Annalise Torres has rejected United States Security and Exchange Commission's motion to appeal its loss against Ripple Labs, the company responsible for issuing XRP token. On October 3rd, which was yesterday, Judge Torres denied that SEC motion claimed that regulator failed to meet its burden to show there were controlling questions of the law or that there were substantial grounds for differences of opinion on that matter. So it looks like SEC taking a second loss versus Ripple XRP. Yes, I'm not a big fan of Ripple XRP, nor I am not a big fan of SEC. Okay, now let's change gear a bit and take a look at some interesting Bitcoin charts, and in this case, actually this is the table. It represents Bitcoin distribution. Yes, as we can see that Bitcoin is highly concentrated among few people, and those people are whales. Look at this, the most concentration that would be in addresses between 1,000 to 10,000 BTC per address. This is insane. Roughly 26% of all BTC in circulation is in between 1,000 to 10,000 addresses. Then we also have 100 to 1,000, that will be 20%. Then we have 10 to 100, 22%, and 1 to 10, that will be 9%. As we can see that addresses below 0.1 BTC is basically minuscule, it's non-existent, only few amount of BTC in those addresses. Yes, indeed, Bitcoin, it looks like it is highly concentrated in only few addresses. That being said, do not be confused with distribution and decentralization. Distribution means that how Bitcoin has been distributed among different addresses, and decentralization is totally different thing. Okay, let's move on. Here's another quite cool chart. It represents Bitcoin balance on exchanges. As we can see that since May 23, Bitcoin balance on exchanges literally dropped. It dropped from like 2.4 million BTC to this current 2.27 million BTC. More than 1.3 million BTC left cryptocurrency exchanges with the span of just a couple of months. This is insane. It basically means that Bitcoin becomes more and more illiquid. In that case, Bitcoin becomes more scarce because there will be less selling pressure from cryptocurrency exchanges. And lastly, let's take a look at this interesting Bitcoin chart. As we can see that it compares what happened in every cycle. On the top, we have 2014-2018 Bitcoin cycle. In the middle, we have 2017-2021 Bitcoin cycle. And on the bottom, we have 2021-2025 Bitcoin cycle. And look at this. It looks like this bear market / consolidation phase is divided by multiple phases. Phase 3, this is where the bottom of the Bitcoin market happens. And yes, there is indeed a lot of similarities between all those cycles. And then phase 5, usually this is where the bull market begins. And we're not too far away from the phase 5. In fact, between phase 3 and phase 5, BTC so far gained 57%. In 2021, BTC gained 100%, and in 2018, BTC gained 170%. So yes guys, the real party will start between phase 5 and phase 8. This is where the real bull market will kick in. For example, in 2016, 2017, during that period of time, BTC gained more than 2,200%. And then, as we can see that in 2020, 2021, BTC gained 450%. Now let's see how much BTC will be able to gain this bull market. Okay guys, let's change gear a bit and take a look at this quick video where one and only Adam Back explains why he thinks BTC will reach $100,000 before the next Bitcoin halving. Let's take a look.
You recently were getting a lot of attention for a bet you made, betting that I think Bitcoin breaks $100,000 USD price point before the next halving, which is scheduled or approximately going to be end of March 2024?
Yeah, April, March 2024.
Yeah. So what's going on there? Why the bet, and who's the bet with, and what's the motivation for it?
So we were just, there was just some Twitter discussion about, where Bitcoin price is going, when, and I, just looking at sort of price trajectory in history between halvings, we're at an unusual point where Bitcoin is lower than it would be in terms of, comparisons between two cycles.
Uh-huh.
And I think that is because of a lot of external factors, the COVID, the quantitative easing, supply chain disruption, Ukraine war impact on power costs, and a number of DeFi failures and altcoin failures, and the sort of contagion between leverage between different kind of crypto hedge funds like Three Arrows Capital and companies that ended up doing unsecured lending between themselves. So it caused a lot of failure, and the mainstream media's understanding of the space is simplified. So they'll just take one bit of bad news, like, some kind of crypto hedge fund fails, and they'll translate that into, Bitcoin has a problem. And it's not really related, but nevertheless, the market reacts because, the average person listens to the mainstream media who typically has a confused viewpoint. So in any case, I would say absolutely, that string of bad news, which is kind of, to my view, misunderstood and overplayed in terms of its impact on Bitcoin price. Bitcoin should be at a higher level now. And so, people are, when they're expecting it, they're sort of thinking, well, the bull market is done for this cycle, and now we wait until after the halving.
Mm-hmm.
Historically, the price has picked up. People assume because of the effect of the halving, the amount of new coins coming on the market per day is cut in half, and therefore supply is restricted. If the demand stays the same, it will throw things off the balance and push the price up, and that has tended to have an effect 6 to 9 months after the halving. So people are kind of looking at that, and I'm saying, well, we should already be over 100,000 apart from all this drama. So, I think there's a reasonable expectation that we could get to 100,000 before the halving and maybe go a lot higher after that. So it was that discussion, and somebody, chimed in on Twitter saying, well, let's bet on it. So I said, okay, how much would you like to bet? And he said 1 million sats. So I said, fine, done. And so we set the time limit at the halving itself.
So it is the halving, or is the end of March, or?
So initially it was like end of March, but I was like, well, no, actually I meant the halving. Can we change it to the halving? That was the kind of point of the discussion. Like,
Yes, as you know that Adam Back actually made the bet that Bitcoin will reach $100,000. Actually, I think initially he made the bet before the end of the year, and then he moved his bet until the next Bitcoin halving that will take place approximately in April 2024. If Bitcoin would reach 100K by the end of the next halving, it means that BTC would have to gain more than 3.5x from this point on. Look, if BTC can gain 3.5x, that would be fantastic. But yes, usually between now and next Bitcoin halving, historically, BTC appreciate by quite a bit. But on my personal opinion, I believe BTC will be somewhere around like $30,000 to $60,000 by the date of the next Bitcoin halving. Let me know what you guys think. Comment below, subscribe, and like this video.